Hey guys, how you doing? Have I got something special for you? I'm so excited about this. I can't stand it. I've been praying to the Lord. I said, Lord, give visions and dreams to everybody you can. I just feel like I know you're coming soon, soon, soon. And he's been showing me stuff. Last night he took me to Ezekiel and he took me to Nehemiah, which talks about the Sukkot, which is also the Feast of Tabernacles, which many people think that he could come back on Feast of Tabernacles or on Feast of Trumpets. But Feast of Tabernacles, Nehemiah talks about how the whole Torah got read to every man and woman also, and children, and they all understood it, and they all rejoiced, and it was amazing. And so anyway, he's just been showing me a lot of stuff. So I've been praying and praying that he'll give visions and dreams to as many people as possible, and he did. This guy, his name is Stefan Burns. This is his channel called Stefan Burns. A modern Carrington event may be about to occur. If you don't know what a Carrington event is, it happened in like what year was it? 1854 or something like that is when it happened, and it was some kind of explosion or either an asteroid hit or something. I don't know what happened, but they say that we had this where it just made all the lights go out everywhere. And you should read about it online or look up I would read about it online. Anyway, so he's talking about that all this solar storm and all this extra crazy stuff has been happening. We've had tons of solar storms, and recently this last month around January we had a massive solar storm called a G storm. And I was thinking G storm, God storm, right? And so anyway, the Lord, so he's talking, he goes, this is going to be a long video. It's almost an hour long. He usually does a video for 10 to 15 minutes. He shows you the sun. He shows you like stuff that's going on up in the sky and the solar storms and how that can affect our weather and all that. He goes, this is going to be a long video. He doesn't even say anything on his title about the fact that he had a vision, guys. He did not just have a dream. He literally says, I absolutely believe this was not a dream. It's so phenomenal. It's nuts. I've got to show you some of this, and you can definitely go watch it again on your own. But the Lord showed me some things about what he said that's going to blow your mind. All right, let's get started with it. This is at the end of the video. He's at 43 minutes. If you just want to go watch that part, and let me see. So it's gone. Okay, so let me preface this for you because sometimes it's a little confusing. He says that we had this solar storm on January 20th, and he said, and then I think that's when he was looking to set his clock at 4:30 in the morning to see if he could see some auroras. Well, that's when he had this vision. And so he's kind of talking about it, and it can be a little confusing unless you watch the whole thing. So I'm going to have to skip around because we can't watch the whole thing on my channel because you need to go to his channel and watch it, okay? Because of YouTube. But I'm going to play you some clips, and I'm going to tell you what I found out about it, okay? What the Lord revealed to me.
In, let's say, 10 days, all right?
He's talking about the moon. He sees a moon that's an eclipse, and it's the furthest away from the sun, and he ends up and sees a solar eclipse, but it's an annular eclipse. An annular eclipse is where you see the sun. He's going to show a picture of it. You see the sun, and the moon eclipses the sun, but it doesn't eclipse it totally, and you see this ring around the edge of it, of a bright sun around the edge. It's called an annular eclipse, and the last time we had an annular eclipse, all the Christians were like, that's a wedding ring eclipse, that's a wedding ring eclipse. So let me let you watch a little of it.
Now, this dream that I had came to me at 4:30 a.m. on the 20th of January. We were in the middle of a long-duration G-force storm as a result of that near Carrington level impact because its magnetic field strength was so crazy strong.
Okay, so he's saying that storm we had was so strong, he wanted to be up in the morning when it hit and stuff because he was worried that we could have a Carrington event where our electricity went out and all this other stuff. So he said it was at 4:30 in the morning on January 20th. And then he starts to talk about the moon.
The moment after it happened. So What happened was me actually setting an alarm turned into the dream because I woke up. I'm kind of in this half-dazed state.
Okay, so he's saying that he woke up to set the alarm for 4:30, and what happened was, or he woke. I guess he was going to wake up. He was wake up at 4:30. He was going to wake up to set the alarm for maybe another time or something. But as he set the alarm at 4:30 in the morning is when he woke up, and he was going to set his alarm so that he got up early in the morning or something so he could see the solar the what do you call it, the lights in the sky and stuff. So while he was woke up to set at 4:30 to set his alarm is when he went straight into a vision. And at the end of all his stuff, he says this was not a dream, this was a vision, and it lasted about 30 minutes. It actually lasted 4:30 to 5:04. So 4:30 to 5 is 30 minutes. So 34 minutes it lasted. So I'm going to get you going into the dream.
And it was the new moon. So I saw the moon in the sky to the left.
He saw the crescent moon to the sky in the left that was really far away, that was going to eclipse the sun.
Current moment. Then talking to my family just about the storm, the aurora and everything, when suddenly I see the sun get eclipsed. And it's an annular eclipse. Because it's very clearly a ring of fire.
Which is bizarre because it has to be a vision because it was at night when he started to set his alarm. So the sun wouldn't have been up during that time, right? So he's going to show you, here's what an annular eclipse looks like.
All right. Guess what? We have an annular eclipse coming up February 17th, 2026.
We have write this down. Put it on your calendar. We have an annular eclipse coming up on February 17th, 2026. Okay, so let's keep going. 17. Remember, 2017 is when Trump announced Jerusalem as the capital. It was 2017.
This is right before this Saturn-Neptune conjunction on February 20th.
So there's going to be a Saturn-Neptune conjunction. Saturn is a planet that symbolizes Satan. And then Neptune is one of those planets that are way out there in the solar system that's far away. Okay, it doesn't get very much light. It's a lot further out. Okay, so he's saying that this eclipse he sees is right before that's going to happen in a couple of days.
Which again, for Western Tropical is right at the 0 degree creation mark of fire. But this is an annular solar eclipse that we have coming up. It's a new moon in front of the sun, but because the moon is at apogee, it's furthest away, it doesn't completely block the sun, so we get this annular eclipse. Okay? Well, that's what I saw in my dream. I saw an annular eclipse. Venus, Mars, and Mercury on the far side of the sun perform their cazemis.
Okay, cazemi is where he started talking about this and I don't know what it is. Cazemi is where one of the planets get the closest that they can to the sun or something. He's saying that he saw these three planets. He saw three lights in the sky and they were like a orangish goldish color. After he saw the solar eclipse, the sun eclipse, he saw these three bright golden lights in the sky, and he thinks that they were these planets that were getting ready to have, be close to each other, and they were going to get close to the sun. So he thinks they're those. But I think that he might have seen Orion's belt, which is those three stars that are in the sky that also Egypt pyramids point to. And in Job, it says, how do you know? And remember when God says, you don't know anything about the fact that I band them together, that because those stars that are up in the sky for Orion's belt are band together because he band them together, because I did it. That's what God's saying. So he could have seen Orion's belt, or he could have seen some other planets. But let's go on.
3 planets. I saw these 3 points of light. The eclipse phase is brief, and now these 3 lights are very bright, and the ground begins to shake.
Guys, he witnesses the great earthquake that is in Revelation. I think it's 6:11 and 16, or 9:11 and 16. That's that great earthquake that comes that trips off the tribulation. This is incredible. He talks about that everything was shaking, and he says that he was on the East Coast, so he couldn't understand why there was an earthquake happening on the East Coast. And he said this earthquake was so massive, so he saw an eclipse, he saw the moon, a crescent moon, he saw the eclipse, and then he saw these three stars, and then he starts to feel the ground shaking. And he says this is massive. Like, he says he thinks the crust of the earth is cracking or moving.
The sun is the largest, but the others are significant as well. It's a big earthquake, and everything is shaking like crazy, almost like the crust is shifting. We're on the East Coast, and I'm finding it's odd that's happening out here at the time as in Pennsylvania.
So he's in Pennsylvania.
Now in the distance, the bright points of light, which I know to be the sun and the planets, are exploding with energy like fireworks on display, except times 100 or times 1,000.
He said, okay, so he saw the moon, then he saw the crescent moon, crescent, a slice of the moon. Then he saw the eclipse happen, so the moon must have went in front of the eclipse, in front of the sun, and eclipsed the sun, which doesn't make any sense because it's at nighttime. And then he sees these three bright stars that he's not sure if they're what planets or what stars they are. Then he says there's an earthquake that is so massive, it is shaking everything. I mean, we are talking a massive, like a 9, 10, 12 point earthquake. He said he feels like the crust is moving. And he says, then he sees the sun and these planets exploding like fireworks, but like 1,000-fold. I mean, this is insane, guys. This is so beautiful and insane what he's seeing. So there's some more that have to do with the Bible in a minute. Hold on. Keep going.
I'm filming this on my iPhone X. I'm leaning out the sunroom door.
He says, I'm leaning out the door. Remember how God puts this stuff in there here for a reason. He deliberately wanted people to know about the door. He says, I'm leaning out the door. And remember, Jesus says, I am the door. And he says, ask and I shall come in, let us sup together, right? Jesus is the door, right? Okay, well, he referred to that. It may not be a big refer, but it is a refer. It is a nod to Jesus. Now, I will tell you, this guy is not saved. He is not a Christian. He believes in Buddha, and he's gone all over the world, and he meditates and all that. So he is not saved. So I want you to understand that because it's important at the very end, okay?
Phone for some reason, and I was like, I gotta get this on video. Like, everyone's gonna freak out when they see this. Of course, everyone's seeing this. If this is real life.
Okay, so he says, of course, everyone is seeing this. God wanted that to be put in his vision too, because it says in the Bible, it said, every eye shall see, every knee shall bow, right? All right.
Filming this on my iPhone, I'm leaning out like the door of this room that we have. And I can feel the intense energy hitting me like it's radiation, but I'm not worried. Like, I can feel the energy, but it's not like, oh my God, I'm getting like
Okay, so there are many people that have had visions and dreams, and they all talk about that right before they get raptured, they feel this intense energy and a pulling. He's feeling the energy, but he's not feeling the pulling because he's not saved. And I love this guy. Isn't he so beautiful and handsome? He's the sweetest guy. I mean, it makes me want to cry because I want him to be saved. He's a good guy. I think he loves people. I think he wants people to be happy and healthy and good. And he takes good care of himself. He exercises and stuff. And it breaks my heart because I want him to be saved. And I've gone on his channel and I've told him, I put comments in. It says, please ask Jesus to be your Lord and Savior. He is creator of all things, I was talking to my dad today, and he said, and I was telling him about how I could not understand how God and Jesus and the Holy Spirit is one when they're three separate entities. And it's only been recently through lots of study that I truly understand it. But Jesus, when he comes down and he says, I'm going to tell you what my Father tells me to tell you. And like it says that he sits down on the right hand of the Father. But what people just don't understand is the Father, when he creates each one of us, and we get saved, we get a portion of him in us through his own Spirit. And that's what he created a body for Jesus to be in, so that he could put his wisdom and his knowledge into Jesus, so he could come down. Basically, God walked in the garden with Adam and Eve, and after they sinned, he couldn't come down here anymore because we were dirty from sin. We were blemished. And so he had to send his angels down here, or he had to talk to the prophets. And so when Jesus came was the first time that God had gotten to be down here with us all those thousands of years. And he brought his wisdom, his knowledge, his teaching, and everything. But he used a body that was a human body, partly human, but partly God, so that he could occupy that body. And it was completely sinless because it was part God's body. Mary was a virgin, and I don't know how that works, but it was okay for there to be a little bit of sin, but not a lot. The other half was totally purely clean. And so now I get it, and it's so amazing. So anyway, let's finish. His story is amazing.
100 chest x-rays simultaneously. So it's like a different character.
So he's talking about this energy hitting him.
Like, oh my God, this is like really because the ground's shaking violently, the planets and the sun are going completely nuts, but it didn't actually translate into fear. Instead, it was just complete awe and like, whoa.
That's another sign it was a vision, because people that have either been translated or had some vision that felt like it, he said it was so real. Look at his face. He said awe. He said it was like awe. And he said, I know it wasn't a dream, because he said, I went into this almost immediately as I was setting my clock. So he never laid back down to go to sleep when he had this for 34 minutes.
It's happening. So I know this is too important not to video and to share with the world. So
he's videotaping it.
Red and yellow exploding out of volcano in the distance.
Okay, so he basically says he sees a volcano in the distance, but it's not on Earth. He's on the East Coast, and I don't know of any volcano that's on the East Coast. He's in Pennsylvania. He says that he sees, and I'm trying to explain this to you so you'll get everything. But like he's saying that he sees this volcano, and it's as if it's passing by. And he said he feels like it's ethereal. Like it's like, I think what happened was he was having this vision of being on Earth, seeing the stars and the eclipse and everything. And then he saw this vision, a vision within a vision. He saw this vision of this volcano passing by him. And he said there were these beautiful gems coming out of the volcano. Now, you know what gems are. They're like beautiful crystals, like the beautiful pointed crystals are like, gems are like amethyst, ruby, sardis, all those stones that are like God says that the temple is made out of, the New Jerusalem, those are gems. So he's saying he sees several gems coming out of the volcano, and they are red, orange, and yellow, I think he said. So
quickly passing by the Earth is it's like Earth displacement, or in general it just looks like we're moving past this volcano. The volcano never fully exploded. It has this ethereal metaphysical nature to it the whole time.
That's his way of explaining that he feels like it's a dream, like it's passing by type of thing.
As quickly as it started, the earthquake stops, and the feeling of radiation hitting me is over. The neighbors all around.
So as quickly as it started, the earthquake is stopped. He never was afraid of the earthquake that was going on. He wasn't afraid of this energy field that he kept feeling hitting him. And at one time, in the beginning when the energy was hitting him, he said he actually saw the energy. So all this time, the energy's hitting him, the earthquake's happening, and he's seeing these planets and the sun exploding. He says that he is not upset. He says that I have this calm feeling. I don't have any fear. And he says as soon as and then he sees a volcano and all these gems falling out of the volcano. And then he says as soon as that happened, it was over. So this is kind of the end of it.
backyard is flooding and kind of unrecognizable now. I asked them if they saw all this, and they said yes.
I wonder if he means the backyard is flooding with water or with people, but he says like all these people, neighbors, are coming into his backyard. So I think he means it's being flooded with neighbors. And all these people are coming into his backyard and they're all talking about, and he said, "Did you see it?" And they all said yes. So every eye saw this.
I offered to show my dad and this other person the video, but they started talking to each other, and they had this sense of, yeah, we saw it too, it's incredible.
See, that's another thing that bothers me. He said, "Do you want to see it?" And his dad was out too busy with something else, with talking to somebody else. And he was like, "No, I don't want to see it." And that's kind of a semblance of people on earth that are so busy with their life, they are not looking up and ready for Jesus' return. And a lot of people say, "Oh, yes, I'm a Christian. I know I'm going to get raptured." But it specifically says in the Bible, in Ezekiel, God sent me to Ezekiel last night, and he specifically showed me the section of Ezekiel 38 and 39 that talks about that if you're not right with God, that you're going to get judgment. So go back and read like Ezekiel 36 to 38 or 39. It talks about that if you are not right with him and you're living your life and you're not looking up, you're not a watchman, that you are going to be judged for not being a watchman and not being ready. And you're not, guys, there are people all over the world that say that they are Christians, and they are going to wonder why they didn't get raptured.
And there's this understanding that these gems are spread out across the countryside now, and that they are valuable in more ways than one.
Okay, and that's pretty much.
It took me some time to realize, this is my notes afterwards, it took me some time to realize that this dream was actually not a dream, because it was so real. And because I was kind of lethargic and we had the solar storm and everything, I was like still waking up. I wrote down at 5:04 a.m. I had my alarm set for 4:30 a.m. for the aurora. So it happened during that time frame.
Wow. Okay, so
the key thing is that we, in my dream, and this is just my dream, you know, maybe it's prophetic, maybe it's not, I don't know, but it was one of the craziest dreams I've ever had in my life. And I had some crazy dreams, and they're very vivid, sometimes lucid. I've had precognition dreams. I have had dreams of the future, not.
Okay, so I want you to go watch this on your own, and I thank you, Stefan Burns. I love you, and I pray you get saved. And I'm just going to tell you real quick a few things that I wrote down about this. Now, Jesus showed me a long time ago that if you're watching somebody talk about a vision on or making a video about something that could be prophetic, he said, look at this number. This number right here is the left-hand side of the screen, and that's the number of minutes that you are in the video. And at the right-hand side of the screen is the number of minutes that the video is before it's over. And so I noticed that, let's see, when he said... I set my alarm at 4:30 and the dream picked up. It was at 44 minutes and 4 seconds, which is 444. He said he saw the crescent moon to the left, and he said something about February 1st. And let's see, and it says 44:25, which I do believe that we are in 2025 until April 1st. April 1st is the spring equinox, and according to Enoch was the first to ever be given the, sorry, he looks funny because I'm close to the TV. The spring equinox, and Enoch is the first one that ever got a calendar. So there is a real calendar out there that starts on April 1st or March 20th to 29th, whenever the new moon is. That is the start of whenever the equinox is the start of the new year in April. And Jesus came to me this last April, woke me up at 9 a.m. in the morning, and I've been seeing 9s and 18 everywhere. That he told me, get up, get ready, I'm coming to get my spotless bride. And he said, tell them I paid in full for them so they might partake in my full glory. So, and he was standing by my bed, woke me up out of my sleep. This was not a dream. And I woke up hearing his voice and listening to him. I woke up and I did not move. But my eyes were open and I was listening to every word he was saying, and I knew he was standing at my bed and I was awake. So I believe that he waited to give me that vision, that message. He was in my room at 9 a.m. So I was definitely not real tired at that point. I had slept all night long, and I was probably in a very light dream at the time. And I woke up and listened to him talk to me as if my mom came into my room, or my friend, or my husband, or whatever else. Okay, so he saw the ring of fire. He said, I saw the sun eclipsed, and he said that right at 44:43, which you add those 4, 4, 4, and 3 together, it comes out to 15, which is Jesus' number. And he said that there was that on February 20th is a Saturn Neptune conjunction. They're very close together. And then he said he saw the annular eclipse on February 17, 2026. That adds to the number 20 if you add 6 plus 2 plus 2 plus 7 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 20. So right as I was adding that together, I turned the video back on to listen to more of it because I was making notes. And right at that moment, he talks about February 20th. So it's 20 and 20. It was a confirmation. So I said, okay, Lord, you must want me to look this up. So I go and I look up the number 20 in Strong's Concordance, which the Greeks and the Hebrews assign numbers to the words and the verses in the Bible. So I find out that Strong's Concordance, the Hebrew word for the number 20 is melon, and it talks about how people are in the desert or that are parched or thirsty, and they get immediate refreshment from this melon. And so God is trying to tell us immediate refreshment. All the Christians are trodden down. They're tired. They want to go home. They're praying. They're faithful. They're trying their best to tell as many people as possible, help as many people get saved as possible. But they're just getting more and more tired. And I hear that all over the place. And I feel the same way, guys. I really do. I'm going through a lot in my life right now. And I know you all are too. And so he's saying, get ready for the rapture because it's going to be immediate refreshing. And so then the other meaning to 20 in the Greek concordance means gladness and great joy. That all sounds like the rapture to me, guys. So he talks about the moon being far away, and then it eclipses the sun. And then that's when I was telling you that those 3 points that he saw that were golden colored could have been Orion's belt that he saw. And so then I've got these notes I took on it. And then he said, I saw 3 points of light in the eclipse. Then he says the earthquake starts happening. Guys, in Revelation, it talks about this earthquake that comes, and it's going to shake the entire world. And that is what he saw. He saw an earthquake shaking the entire world. God deliberately made sure that he picked this guy because he would know the dates of when this stuff is coming up. If God would have given this dream to some Christian that doesn't follow astronomy, and all of that stuff, and they wouldn't even know that these conjunctions and stuff were coming up, they wouldn't have even known to look at these dates. But he's talking about February 17th, and he said, and there are some days before and after that. February 20th is where some other stuff is going on. So he's on the East Coast, and he can't figure out why there's an earthquake happening on the East Coast. And then he says all these planets are exploding, and they look like fireworks exploding 1,000 times what you'd normally see. And he said it was beautiful, but he wasn't afraid. And remember, he was at the door, and it says in the Bible, he is the door. And also, he asked people what's going on, and everybody sees it. He knew that everybody was seeing this. But he was trying to get it on film because he just wanted it to be on film because he was afraid somebody might miss seeing it. And so, I just thought it was interesting. Right after he said, I saw all these multicolored gems, orange, red, and yellow, exploding out of the volcano. right in the distance. Right at that time, it turned 48 minutes, which is 24 and 24, or it's 4 12s. 12 is a number of completion, and it's a number of the ending of something and the beginning of something else in the Bible. And let's see, what else? Is there anything else I want to tell you? And definitely the volcano looked more like what I think it was he was seeing a vision within a vision. He said all the neighbors around the yard are coming in, and they all said, yes, we saw it. So it's a confirmation that everybody on earth saw this. But many of them were too busy. And I think, so I was talking to my dad about this. And let me see, did I look up 504? No, I didn't. What I think is the reason he did not see anybody get raptured is either one, this is at the very end of everything, or two, it's either that, or it's the people that were around him were people that are scientists or whatever, or in his family, and these people just, they don't believe in that stuff. And so I had looked up, let's see, I had looked up some stuff when I first started, so what did I do with it? I had looked up some stuff that I even put in his comments. Hold on one second here. What did I do with that? Where did I put that? I thought it was in my notes. But I had told him, I looked up like some stuff in there, like numbers to things. And I was like, you saw the rapture. You saw either the rapture or you saw the ending of the world. And I was like, I wrote some comments down. You know, you can go on his channel. When you go on to Stefan Burns and you look at this video, you can look at my comments down. My comments are on Aiming for Wisdom 2 is my channel. Aiming for Wisdom 2. Number 2 is my channel. Please come and subscribe. I love you guys. And please go back and look at some of the videos that I've done in the last few videos I've done, last 3 or 4 videos. The Lord's been revealing a lot to me, and he showed me some things that are really incredible in the last few videos I've done. And I just love you guys so much. Go back and look at Ezekiel 36 to 38 or 9. And if you're a Christian, but you have been too busy doing so many things with the kids and all that, and you're not praying like you should, you're not reading like you should, and you're not talking. Jesus Christ is Lord of Lords and King of Kings. He is the God of the old Bible, and God used to come down in the cool of the day and talk to Adam and Eve, and he loved doing that. He loved having a relationship with them. And so he wants a relationship with you. He wants to be your friend. He wants to be your bridegroom. And if you aren't talking to him throughout the day, I mean, if I'm at work or I'm running around doing something, I'm like, Lord, what do you think about this? Do you think I should do this? What do you think about this? Oh, Jesus, please. Or sometimes I'm just tired and I don't want I don't want to have to go to a parking place that's halfway down the street to go to the grocery store. And I'm like, Lord, I'm so tired. Oh, I pray that and I'm talking to myself, but I know I'm talking to him too. And I'll be like, I pray somebody just pulls out and I can get a parking place up close. And sure enough, it happens. And I look up and I go, Jesus, I love you so much. Thank you. I love you. Love you. I give you all the glory. I give you all the glory. So anyway, I love you guys. I'll put this in the description. His name is Stefan Burns. That's the channel. You can go on his channel. This is the last live broadcast that he did 2 hours ago. Or you can look up the title. It's a modern Carrington event may be about to occur. I would go watch this video as soon as you get this, because he may change the title. I told him, I said, if I were you, I would change. He's got 119,000 views in 2 hours. This guy is, I watched him when he first came on the air, and literally he's only been on the air for maybe 6 months or something, or a year, maybe a year. And he's already got so many thousands of views everywhere. So I love you guys. God bless. Take care. And I hope this blesses you without a shadow of a doubt. And you're welcome to send my video or his over to as many people as you can, because this is extraordinary, guys. This is a fantastic. I haven't heard a vision like this in so long. I love you guys. Take care. Subscribe. I am always finding to things that are amazing. The Lord sends me to things that are amazing. So subscribe and comment as long as it's kind and loving, and give me a thumbs up so it gets out to other people. I would love for more and more people. 119,000 people have seen this video, but how many of them understand that he actually saw either the end of the world or the rapture? And I also, he's a part of this group of people that believe that we're going into the golden age. This is a lie from the devil. He knows that Jesus conquered hell and death already. He knows that Jesus is coming for his bride. He knows that he's only got 7 years to do his stuff. Jared Kushner is the one that made a covenant with many. God showed me, I think I talked about it in my video like about 5 videos back. The Lord started showing me the letter K. I do not know how he did this. It was so weird. He started showing me the letter K over and over again. And I go, okay, you want me to look something up. I looked up the letter K in ancient Hebrew, and he led me to the understanding that it has to do with the Antichrist. And I thought, K, it's weird. And then other people, have you seen lately on advertisement and these different products you can buy? It has L-U, Lu, or Lulu in the front of it. Lulu is a nickname that the elites are giving to Satan. Do not buy any of their stuff. Please don't buy any of their stuff. There's dance wear, there's yoga wear, whatever. Please don't buy that stuff. Please don't give in to the system. But anyway, Lulu is a nickname for Satan. And so anyway, I was looking up K, and I didn't just do like Strong's Concordance. I didn't just look up online what's the meaning of K in ancient Hebrew, but I looked up a bunch more stuff. He led me to a bunch more stuff. Well, Jared Kushner, his name starts with the K. He's all of a sudden been in the media and in stuff lately. He's saying that they made this peace treaty. It's already, they did the Abraham Accord back in 2017. But Jared Kushner has been working on doing getting all these other countries in an agreement with Israel so they're not fighting with each other. And they are talking about just bulldozing everything down in Gaza, giving the people in Gaza some place to live and food to eat and whatever, and they are going to build this new place. And you should see the picture of what they want to make Gaza. It literally looks like a gigantic building that is the length of Gaza, that is like miles and miles long. And it almost looks like a roller coaster. And if I can find any of that information, I'll put it on my next video. But he's standing there talking about, and he's like, I believe that we can do it in 3 years. Well, the Antichrist makes a covenant with many for 3.5 years until he sits on the throne in Jerusalem. It also says that the Antichrist will set up his throne or whatever temporarily in another place. And way it talks about in the Bible, many people think that is, they talk about whether it's east, west, north, south, whatever. And they talk about where is that going to be. And many people believe it's going to be in Gaza because that's the way the Bible says. So it would be a perfect place for the Antichrist to be very close to everything that's going on, and an easy travel from one place to another to Jerusalem. And he can set up the overseeing of everything that's going on and have control over Israel. And did you know Jared Kushner, when he was a little boy, he knew Benjamin Netanyahu. And so he's been being groomed for this his whole life. Many people think that it's Macron, and it could be, guys. I don't know. I'm just saying what God is leading me to, and I just share with you everything that he leads me to. I have had extraordinary experiences in my life that one day I was driving in the car to go see my dad, my son, and it was like a 2-hour, 3-hour trip to get to where I was going. The whole day I was in the glory of the Lord, and while I was driving, I was like, bring me your glory, Lord. Bring me your glory. I just want to be close to you. I just want to love you. I just want to feel you. And I was screaming out the window, glory be to the Lord. Jesus is King of kings and Lord of lords. And I still do that occasionally. I'll scream out the window that because I want the holy angels to hear it, and I want the evil angels to hear it too. And so I'm screaming that out the window. I said, bring me your glory, Lord. I just want to feel close to you. I want your glory upon me. And so the next thing I know, guys, this ball of gray mist is in front of me. It looks like a basketball almost. And it's between my chest and the steering wheel while I'm driving. I have both my hands on the steering wheel, and it's slow. All of a sudden, it just shows up there. And I am completely calm, just like he said that he was calm and at peace. He didn't have any fear. And I saw this ball of mist, and I looked at it, and I was kind of like, what is this? And I looked into the passenger seat, and I looked in my rearview mirror to see if I had any mist anywhere else in my car. It was a nice sunny day, and I had the windows rolled down, so there shouldn't have been any kind of fog or mist in my car at all. And there was only this mist that was in front of my chest, and it looked like it was very condensed. I couldn't see through it. It was this gray mist like a basketball in front of me between my chest and the steering wheel. And it starts to slowly like this. It's like huge, and it's down here by my chest. And while I'm driving, it's slowly going real slow, and it's raising up, and it gets right about to my eyesight. And I realize as I've got my hands on the steering wheel, I have to lean over because I go, oh Lord, not so high. I knew it was the Lord. I absolutely knew it was the Lord and what it was. I knew it immediately. No one had to tell me. And I said, oh Lord, and I had to put my head to the side, and I go, I can't see through the mist. So the ball of mist that got up to about my eyes started to slowly go back down again. It was so amazing, guys. I have never heard anyone say anything like this in my entire life. And it slowly went down back to my chest again. And I said, oh, Lord, I love you so much. Oh, Lord, I thank you for your glory. I thank you for all your sacrifices and all your beautiful blessings. I love you so much. And I'm just talking to him and everything. And the next thing I know, the ball of mist is gone. It just disappeared. But I had this glory on me that I cannot explain, guys. Happier than anything I've ever experienced in my life. Not my wedding, not my child being born, not getting a new car, a new house. There's nothing on this earth that could even equivalent to the joy I had. I was so happy. It was almost like I had been in heaven. And I get to my son's house, my son's place, and I go, you are never going to believe what happened to me. And I am smiling so big, like, he goes, Mom, he said, you're glowing. And I touched my face. And I go, what, I am? Like, I really thought I could have been glowing like Abraham or Moses or something. And he said, no, you're not physically glowing, but he said, you are. He said, your skin is just like beautiful. And he said, you're smiling and your eyes are like full of fire. And he said, they're bright. And he said, your smile is so big. He said, I've never seen you so happy in my whole life. And my son was like maybe 23 or something like that. And I go, I know. I said, I was praying for the glory of God to come on me, and it came on me, and this ball of mist came, and I'm telling him, and I'm so excited I can't see straight. And he puts out his hands like this, both hands. I'm holding my phone, so I only got one hand. But he puts both his hands out. I said, I didn't think you'd believe me. And he goes, I do, I believe you. And he puts out his hands, and he said, give me some. And I said, okay. So I grabbed both his hands and we prayed together. And I said, Lord, let the anointing and your glory that has come upon me, come upon Nicholas too. And he told me that he felt the glory for the rest of the day. And I actually thought and so the whole way home, I was praising the Lord even more. And I was so excited. And I had been living with my dad, still living with my dad because he's older and my mom passed away. I get home and I'm like, you're never going to believe what happened. It's like 8:00 at night. I walk in the door. You're never going to believe what happened. It's crazy. It's so amazing. It's so amazing. And he goes, okay, just a minute. And he stops me completely in all my glory and all my happiness. At that time, my dad was not saved. And so he just says, just a minute. And he goes into the other room to wash his hands or go to the bathroom or whatever he does. So I'm standing there next to the couch. Like, you know, the back of the couch where there's usually a walkway behind the couch. I was standing by the back of the couch and I put my hand on the couch and I'm waiting for him. And I'm almost impatient because I'm just dying to tell him about it. And so I look down at the floor, and the floor is a hardwood floor. I look down at the floor and I kind of look up again for a second, and then I look down again, and the next thing I know, the floor is a crystal glass, just like John talks about in Revelation. It's a crystal glass floor, but it's gold. It's like I can see that it's like clear gold, and it has these waves of like a rainbow color in it. It is so beautiful, and I hear in my spirit, look through it. bend down and look through it. So I'm standing straight up, and I was not afraid at all. And I bend down, I look through the floor, the glass stone floor, and I can see the earth below, and is way far away, is way down there. Like I am way past the clouds. I have to be past the firmament. And so I look down there, and all of a sudden I start hearing thousands and thousands and thousands of people praying. And I'm like, it literally sounded like water. Like it says in the Bible, I heard the Lord sound as if it was water, like a water, I don't remember, rivers of water. And so now I understand what that means. When it says in the Bible, I heard him as a sound of rivers of water, what that means is like when you go to a stadium and you hear all these people talking at the same time, but you don't hear them individually, you just hear the sound of this hum of all these people, and you can't individually hear any specific thing they're saying. That's what it was like. And all of a sudden I hear this little girl's voice a little higher, and I hear her going, "Dear Lord Jesus," and she's talking, but I don't really remember anything she said. And I immediately focused on her voice standing up there on the glass stone floor. I immediately focused on her voice. The second I realized that her voice is independent and I can hear it, I am in her room, guys. I am just literally transported there immediately. And I'm no longer on the glass stone floor. I'm in her room, and I'm above her, and I see this little girl that's about 6 or 7 years old, and she's kneeling down by her bed in her nightgown or pajamas, and she's got her hair split down the middle, and it's long golden blonde hair. And I knew that she had blue eyes, and she had her elbows on the bed, and she was praying to the Lord. And I was watching her, and I was in the ceiling. And so the next thing, I start looking around like, where am I? And I realize I am in the ceiling, but I have no body. I'm in spirit, complete spirit. But I feel like I'm in my body. I feel completely normal, like as if I'm a normal person. Guys, I just tell you, please, if you don't believe in heaven or hell, please believe in it, because if you go to hell, you will feel pain and burning, just like as if somebody stuck your hand in a fire. And it is a horrible feeling, and it is the most torment you could possibly ever have. You don't ever want that. One time God let me know what it feels like to have true pain from fire. I was cooking, and I was going to take some oil and fry something, and I was trying to use olive oil because it's supposed to be healthier, which you don't ever use olive oil for frying because it'll catch on fire. You use avocado oil. Anyway, the pot caught on fire, and I was afraid it was going to catch a house on fire, so I took the pot by the hand, and I was trying to walk it out to the door, and the flames were curling over the pot onto the top of my hand. And by the glory of God, I don't have but just a couple of freckle marks. I have nothing but a few little brown freckles on my hand, and that's it. But I had like third-degree burns. It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. So anyway, so I'm looking around so back to her room. So I'm in her room, and I'm looking around going, where am I? Well, I guess the Lord figured out where I was and what I was doing, or the angels that were watching over me. And immediately, as soon as I was like, where am I? And I start looking around, whoop, I'm back on the glass stone floor again. And I open my arms out wide, like if you're gonna hug somebody and you're gonna open your arms out wide. I said, Lord, what does this mean? And he said, tell them I see every thought. I hear every thought. I know every thought they have in their heart. I know everything they're thinking, everything they're feeling. He said, I see everything they're doing. And he said, I hear everything they're saying. Because there are people out there that are saying horrible things, hurtful things to other people on the internet and on comments and stuff. And they're ridiculing other people. And like him, for instance, I don't believe he's saved, because he's talked many times on this channel about meditating and about, the golden age and all this other stuff, and the bowls and making the humming noise and all that. And he's not saved. I know he's not saved. And I pray all the time for him, and I pray that he is saved, because he's a beautiful person. I think he's a kind, loving person. And I pray he does get right with God before God comes back. And it could be at any minute. So I pray he hurries up. Anyway, I actually stopped this on 49 and 22 minutes. In Baruch 2, it says 7 weeks times 7 days is 49. And it's actually 49-year tribulation. And the last 7 years is the actual true tribulation, where it is the time of the Antichrist. So we are at like the 7 times 5. Okay, there's 7 weeks or 7 sets of 7. So we are in the 6th set of we're almost out of this, or we are out. I don't know. Jesus told me the forming of Babylon started in 1982, and I was looking at 2024 as being the ending of the last 6 weeks, going into the 7th week, which the 7th week is the last 7 years. So I expected like the end of 2024 for us to get raptured. And it was getting close to December, and I said, Lord, what happened? I said, you never confirmed to me 1982. Immediately, he put me in a sleep, and the next thing I know, I wake up with my hand. This is absolutely the truth. I wake up with my hand being lifted up like this, holding, here's my remote. He puts me in a sleep, and I wake up with my hand going like this, raising up in the air. And I'm going, what is going on? Because you feel yourself, something weird is going on. I wake up and I realize that there's some video on TV, on the video on YouTube that I did not choose. And I was like, what? I don't want to watch that. And I don't know why, but it's like somebody was telling me something. Because I was talking to him. I was talking to myself. I wasn't talking to myself. I said, I don't want to watch that. So I put my arm down and I put my head back on the pillow and I try to go back to sleep again. A couple more minutes go by and here I go again. My arm is being raised in the air by itself while I'm asleep. This makes no sense. Never had anything like this happen to me in my life. And I go, what is it? And I was like, I don't even know what that is. It's 3rd time I put my arm down. I was stubborn. I hardly ever do this. I am always obedient to the Lord if I know it's of the Lord, but I was kind of like, didn't know what was going on. 3rd time it happens and I go, okay, fine, I'll watch it. So I pressed it because I kept feeling that when my arm was being raised up, I kept hearing somebody say, press it. So I go on this video, and immediately this video is talking about that the reformation of Babylon started in 1982. And if you count 7 times 6, 7 times 6 is 42. So that's 42 years. And so we're in like the 43rd year. So then I was like, well, I could be off. It could have been actually 1983, depending on the April calendar. So it can be staggered. So anyway, I've been expecting like at the that we either going to get raptured before 2025 is over, or we've got to stay here till 2027 when it's the middle of the tribulation of 3.5 years. And I pray that we don't have to do that, because the Antichrist has risen and he is biting at the bit. He cannot wait to get Gaza reformed and started. And this is getting to be a scary time, guys. They are arresting people left and right. There are people in jail saying for just ridiculous reasons with this ICE thing going on. And there are a lot of things happening in America with the Trump administration that people just do not know about. You need to go look up the laws they're putting through, and go to Israeli News Live channel, look up the Noah, and hide, laws. These are a set of laws that Israel has set forth years ago. They've had people like Clinton sign, the Bushes sign, that when the Antichrist or their Messiah would come to be here on earth, that we would reinforce these laws. And these laws basically say you have to be right, you have to do righteous, you cannot be doing bad stuff, you can't be breaking the law, you get in a lot of trouble, and all of these, and you should be righteous and good and treat people good and all this stuff, pay your bills, blah, blah, blah. All this stuff is good stuff you're supposed to do, but it says you must worship one God, their God. And if you don't worship their God and you worship Jesus Christ, the penalty is beheading. So this is coming, guys, and it's coming soon. If you haven't been on your knees praying, I suggest you start doing it right now. And if you have not had a relationship with Jesus, get on your knees and say, Jesus, I'm so sorry that I have let myself be so busy with my life that I have not been talking to you on a regular basis. And tell him how much you love him. Ask him to forgive you. Ask him to forgive your sins. Ask him to help your family get saved. If you have family that has not got saved, do not give up on them. Just keep on praying every single day, every day for 2 weeks. You need to just keep on, or more. Keep on praying to Jesus that he help get your whoever your children are saved, that he send an angel to them, that he talk to them in the spirit, that they send them a dream or vision. Just keep on praying that Jesus prick their heart to get them saved through Jesus Christ. And it will happen, because it happened to me. It happened to me twice with two people that I really care about that were not getting right. They were stumbling and falling constantly, and I kept asking for a miracle from God, and he gave it. The day he gave, and I never told these people about anything that was happening, and when they told me, guess what happened? It blew my mind. I was like, I started crying, and I started thanking the Lord because I knew it was all him. So I love you guys. God bless. Take care, and share this with others. Please share this, and please like this video, because it'll send it out to more people. And I hope you really enjoyed my stories. I love you so much. God bless and take care. Please subscribe.